Hello, personal finance. I'm going to make you a video here today to help you get through your very first budget. We're going to do a couple of budgets here, so I'll try to go quickly and help you find the answers that you're looking for. So we're going to keep this kind of simple to begin with, but when I come back on Friday, some of the things that are up here in the top, dealing with salary, gross pay, and monthly take-home pay, I'll get a little more detail when I come back on Friday. But for now, we're going to keep it simple, and I'll throw some other ideas at you in the next couple days. But for first, we're just going to try and create a simple budget in a spreadsheet. So here we go. The first number that you're going to need is your salary or how much you would make per year if you get an hourly wage. Now, where are we going to pull that number from? If you'll remember way back at the beginning of the semester when we were looking for jobs, we found 3 jobs and we pasted links to those jobs in a document. Well, now it's time that we're going to use those because we want to know how much money you would make if you had those jobs. And we're going to put that number right here where it says salary. Now, let's say you make $15 an hour and that's in your job. Instead of just putting the blank salary number like I can here because I make a salary, you can come over and instead of putting the 56,000, you might put in that same spot, but I'm going to do it to the side here. Equals, and let's say you make $15 an hour, 15 times 40 times 52 weeks in a year. Okay, and 40 is 40 hours a week. We're not going to include any overtime at this time. I just want you to get a gist of what this looks like. So I'm going to put 52 after that, and that'll give me a rough estimate of what my salary would be for $15 an hour. Um, if you haven't noticed in any of the debates here recently, $15 is the minimum wage that they're proposing. So we'll see if that comes true. But here's what you would make gross salary or salary wise, not after taxes. This is before taxes. If you made $15 an hour, 40 hours a week, 52 weeks a year. Here you go. There's the number. And you would make $31,200. Okay. And I'll use this as my example. Money symbols over here. You can turn that on. The next number we're going to look for is gross pay. And this is a monthly amount. So what I want to do now is take this number, the 31,200, and I'm going to go down to the step below. I'm going to go equals. I'm going to click on that number and I'm going to divide it by 12 because I want to know how much I would make a month. So there we go. It looks like my gross pay, which is my money after taxes per month, is going to be $2,600. So looking at that, I now want to take that number. We're going to do another formula, so we're going to take our taxes out. And what I roughly do for taxes is I roughly take a third of my money out for taxes. So you're going to get 2/3 for take-home pay or money that you actually get to spend. So to do that and find that number, I'm going to go equals. I'm going to click on that monthly amount. I'm going to take it times 2 divided by 3 because I'm assuming I'll only have 2/3 that I can use because a third is going to taxes. If I hit enter, that'll give me my monthly take-home pay. This is what I have to spend. Okay, so that's what you have to spend. Woohoo! I have, in this case, 1733. If I have $15 an hour, it would appear that I make more than that per hour and based on my salary. The one thing you don't see in my salary or in my day-to-day operations, I'm working right now. It is 11:48 at night. Um, is that counted on my clock hours? Well, my contract hours state that I should work 7:15 to 3:15. So no, that would I am working beyond the hours of my contract. And you'll find in your job that there will be times, especially if you're getting paid salary, that it doesn't match up to an hourly wage. Additionally, I'll throw this out there too. The hourly rated jobs, they usually, in most cases, make less. As far as, my overall money in the hourly job is going to be almost, you know, a little more than half of what I make here. So, I mean, there's a trade-off there. So it is what it is. Um, Time commitment might be different, but money's better too. So, needless to say, the other things that we have to consider after we have decided what our income is going to be and how much we're going to actually get to spend is what we're going to spend it on. And so I've put some items out here on the side, and I'll briefly go through each one. And I want you to legitimately determine how much you think you would spend on each one of these items. Okay, and I'll explain some of them. Some of them you may not even have. So right here, the first one, the big ticket item, and these are all fixed expenses. You're going to want to file and make a copy of this so you can do your own. And your first item on your fixed expenses is the house payment slash rent. So it depends on what you're doing. Are you renting or making a house payment? I personally am making a house payment. Um, the reason I don't mind making the house payment, it's more expensive, but I get a house when I'm done paying for my house. And I'll explain my strategy behind that when I get back. But you have to decide how much you're willing to pay per month for your house payment. So $1,300, if I did make $15 an hour, that's probably not a realistic amount to be spending on a house payment. And unfortunately, when the bubble crisis happened, people did that. Not very smart. Not a good idea. So let's keep going. I'm going to keep you going down here. Along with your house payment, some things that might come along with that are homeowners insurance. Um, if you're going to do if you're buying a house, it's probably going to be around this much, give or take $40, depending on how big your house is. Renter's insurance is about $30. So if you're going to do renter's insurance, you can put $30 here. Going down the line, car insurance. That's really, again, going to depend on what kind of vehicle you have. If you have a vehicle right now, use that amount. Put that amount in there. For my for my individual vehicle, this is actually low compared to what it actually is. I think it's closer to $85 an hour now, so or $85 a month, so I'm gonna move that up. These are all monthly amounts, by the way. Um, I make a car payment. My car payment's not $800. It is 600. Now that I think about it, it's $600. Um, currently paying for two vehicles. I am paying for my truck and my wife's new car. So we're in that cycle of our lives where we've had to recycle our cars out and get newer ones that are going to be a little bit more dependable. We're willing to pay this a month so we can have dependable things that get us from A to B. It may depend on where you're at in your life, whether you can afford to do that. My wife and I have set ourselves up to be able to do that. Some other things that you might incur, furniture loans. I actually don't have this anymore, so I'm going to put that at 0. But you might be buying some furniture and still paying it off. I don't actually have that anymore. I am still paying for my wife's ring, so I'm going to keep that on there. Excuse me. I have student loans, me and my wife both, so that's a combined amount. Student loans that we currently owe. This is our current trash bill. Our current Verizon bill is about 145. Actually, it moved up. We got some more data and we got better phones. So that kind of went up a little bit. So all of those things are my fixed expenses. And the reason they're fixed is because they don't change. They stay basically the same. Now I adjusted some because some of my things went up for the year. But if they stay the same for a year or longer, they're fixed expense. So those things are things you typically consider to be needs. They're not always needs, but you consider them basically to be basic human needs, and um, you go from there. That's usually what happens with your fixed expenses. If you have any others that you would like to add, you're welcome to. You may find that some of them are also located in the variable. So let's go down to variable expenses. Some of the variable expenses that I have recognized are things like gas, um, auto maintenance, daycare, which daycare is not that much anymore. It's like 520, so I need to adjust that. I don't pay into Edward Jones right now. That was an investment account. Um, I have roughly estimated that we will spend $800 at Walmart. Um, my true budget, I actually put 500, but we probably do spend 800. Eating out 200. The electric bill I have adjusted for my time now. That's like to run the air conditioner in your house. You use the electricity to do that. That's when that bill goes up. Um, I have now allocated, I think it's $150. Yeah, $150 for that. And then I've also allocated $100 for gas. Gas is more prevalent in the wintertime when you're trying to stay warm, electric in the summertime when you're trying to keep it cool in your house. And these numbers will fluctuate throughout the year. Like right this today, my gas bill was $30. And some of the other bills that you'll come across aside from gas, clothes, cable, water bill, entertainment, total expenses, profit and loss. We'll talk about those things here in a second, but the entertainment's the last expense I have. I didn't include pets, and there's maybe some other bills that you incur that I don't have. You're going to want to include those things in there. Additionally, you're also going to want to tell me what specifically or where specifically you pay for these things. Make sure you include that. Um, so be very specific as much as you possibly can. I want to know where your money's going and what you're going to be spending it on. Okay? And so once you get done, you're going to total all those expenses using the AutoSum feature. That's just coming up here to the Sigma symbol, clicking on Sum, selecting all of the expenses that you have. Let's run down here, hit enter, and that 5149 shows up. It was already there. I already did it once. The additional thing, I threw in two incomes. This is mine, and this is going to be my wife's income. So I will add those two together and subtract my total expenses, and I'll get this number right here. You can see in my formula right there that that's what that reflects. To do that formula, all I did was type in an equal sign, and I clicked on B4 plus B5. Those are the two income amounts that I have above, so minus the total expenses. Okay, and that's how I came up with that number. So I'm actually a positive $1,073.11. That's extra money that we have to either save or put towards some other things that we can do. Um, when you're in this situation, it provides you with a certain sense of security. It's something that I would encourage you to work towards every day. The reason we can do this is because we have dual incomes. If you're single and working on your own, a lot of these expenses that you look at right here are going to be cut in half, maybe even to a third. You might only be spending a third of what my wife and I spend, especially since we have two kids. Our expenses are a little different compared to you right now. So keep those things in perspective and make your own budget. And that's really all I'm going to ask of you today. I want you to make your own budget and just make a copy of this. Also, you'll see that there's a current budget tab. I want you to go in there, and I want you to identify the things that you spend your money on or your parents spend on you. And I want you each day this week to identify how much you're spending and what you're spending it on. And we're going to do that for an entire week. So we're going to start on Tuesday, and you'll go from Tuesday to Tuesday, and then we're going to see how much money you actually spent each day, or how much money your parents even spent on you each day. I want you to count it all, and we're going to see how much money's been invested in you in a week's time. Okay, it's a really fun experiment, but you got to remember to do it each day. Okay, so thank you for listening. Good luck with making your budgets. It's pretty basic. Again, I'll come back and I'll explain a few more things with the gross pay and some taxes that are coming out when I come back on Friday. This is all you need to do today, and tomorrow I'll have another budgeting activity for you to consider, and we will go from there. All right, good luck. If you need any additional help, please feel free to send me an email or post some questions to the community under the budgeting tab, and I'll go back in there and try to answer them for you. All right, thank you for your time, and I wish you guys the best. See you in a few days. Bye bye.